Well, it's been a while since we've had a time to chat here with our friend Lauren Rhoda Keberly, but Lauren is back with us today to talk about all things parenting. Lauren, thank you for joining me.
It is a pleasure to be back. Thanks for having me.
Today, Lauren, we're going to talk about conscious parenting. And this is something that not everybody may be aware of. So, can you tell me what is conscious parenting?
Yeah, so conscious parenting is really about the relationship with the child. So it's a relationship focused kind of parenting. And there's so many names that people hear nowadays. They hear gentle parenting, respectful parenting, mindful parenting, or conscious parenting. And they're all kind of trying to do the same thing. And to be honest, with my work as a coach, and as a parent, I take bits and pieces of all of these concepts, but it really is about the relationship and the needs of the child and a connection.
Now, you mentioned that you are a coach, Lauren. So, obviously, this is something you're passionate about. Can you tell people basically how can you learn to become a conscious parent? Is it something where you have to take a course, or you can just, read items and articles on the internet, or what's the best way to, I guess, make that move to becoming a conscious parent?
Yeah, actually, there's so many of those ways, like you're saying. So you could start with a book or following an account or watching YouTube videos or taking a course. There's so many ways. But I think really, if you want to start, you can just jump in by starting to practice some of the concepts. So focusing on that relationship. And also a big thing that I do with people, because I do want to point out too, a misconception that a lot of people have about this conscious parenting is that they're like, oh, so we just let the kids walk all over us and we don't have any rules. But that's really not the case. It's about making sure that everyone's growing together and understanding each other. And of course, setting boundaries so that children can learn, but that's so that everyone can thrive together. And it makes parenting a lot more fun. So what I tend to do with people is I say where we should start is figure out what is triggering you as a parent or a caregiver, because often those triggers, you'll come back and you'll look inside and you'll find out it's actually about you and it's not about the kid. So I'll just give a quick example. Let's say you find you get really triggered when your kid doesn't finish all the food on their plate. If you stop and think, is it about my kid? And is it about them not finishing the food on the plate? Or is it about when I was a kid, I was told I had to finish every last bite. And so I think that's the way it should be. And so that's making me feel like this, that, or the other thing, or I'm not being listened to, or my role in the family and that kind of thing. So really it's about coming inside and finding out what these triggers or things that are not enjoyable are bringing up in you. And when you can resolve those things in yourself, then it often resolves everything else in how you react and respond to your children or the children you're taking care of.
Is it a big leap from what would be considered traditional parenting?
I would say so. I'm generalizing, of course, but I would say like our generation is probably the first generation that's really coining these terms, and that's stepping away a little bit from the do this because I said so kind of mentality. And again, I'm generalizing because I don't want to insult anyone that one or two generations ago they were not doing it that way. But it really is about it being a team effort and being family focused now. And yeah, and just trying to work with our children and know that they can be our teachers as well.
Why do you think that parents should consider making the move to just even more of an effort to be a conscious parent and get away from some of the hard and fast rules, like you said, growing up, it was a little bit different, I think, for your generation and for my generation. But why should parents look at maybe softening things a little or moving away from traditional styles?
Well, I think most of us can agree that that way wasn't working or isn't working, because it can get kids to do things in the short term. So if you yell at your kid, yes, maybe they'll stop doing that right now for you so that they don't get yelled at. But is it really making them feel like they're making the decision? So for their autonomy, their confidence, their mental health, and the whole family relationship, this kind of parenting is important.
Now, as we alluded to, Lauren, you are a coach. Do you offer services to parents or some resources? Or if anybody's interested in exploring this topic further, can they reach out to you for certain things? And I guess, what do you offer?
Absolutely. So I'm revamping my website right now. So depending when this airs and when people are seeing it, just keep checking back as it's in the revamp stage. But I will have a section up there where people can sign up for webinars and workshops so they can come as a group. And that's a very inexpensive and quick way to kind of just get the main concepts. And then if they want more, they can work with me privately as well.
And Lauren, for those who are not aware, how do they find your website and how do they find you on social media?
Thank you for that. So yes, it's laurenrodickeberle.com and it's at Lauren Rodick Eberle. So RODYCHEBERLE on all social media platforms and my website as well.
All right, Lauren. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.